Hey VC, this is Brian, aka Cosmic Vinyl. Back to do my second video. Actually, was attempting to do this video yesterday. Ended up having all kinds of problems with, I had pets barking, I had people walking through frame. It was, well, you guys all know, I've seen pets in everybody's video, so I guess that shouldn't matter, but I just wanted to make a good impression with my second video, so doing a little do-over here. So just want to start by saying something that I didn't say in my first video. What I hope to accomplish here in the VC is I'm a fan of all different kinds of music. I'm kind of an era guy. I love stuff from the 60s, the early 60s, like singing groups, I like the late 60s, like hard rock and psychedelic rock and classic stuff. Moving into the 70s, same thing. I like some disco, even, dare I say, funk, 70s era hard rock, even it's like the one-hit wonders and stuff. I love all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm a huge fan of like 80s music as well. I guess my guiltiest pleasure is 80s hair bands. That's the era I grew up in. Me and my friends were always in bands, and if one of us wasn't in a band, the other guy was, and we just kind of lived that whole thing in the 80s, and it was just party time. It was good. It was great. So yeah, I got a kind of a big part, big area in my heart that goes to the 80s rock. So yeah. But so I'm gonna. What I hope to do is, show like vinyl finds that I find. Like I collect a lot of vinyl. I'll buy lots of stuff over every 2 weeks or so. I'll probably buy anywhere from 15 to 20 records. So I'll always have something to show that I found out in the wild or stuff I've ordered. Also. For other stuff, I have maybe a topic or something like the 10 deep cuts. I plan to do a video on that, or contest or something, but I always have something to show from my existing collection as well. So hopefully I'll have plenty to show for you guys, and I hope you guys will dig it. And right now what I'm going to show you is just some stuff I found today. I went down to Des Moines, had a doctor's appointment down there, and while I'm in Des Moines, I like to go, there's a few record stores down there. I like to hit them up for always digging through records and trying to find some cool stuff. So and this time I scored some really good stuff, some stuff I'd been looking for a long time. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you some great records, and hope have a cold beer with you guys. Got a little liney going here, Leinenkugel. Have a cold beer, show some records, listen to some music. Got some Deep Purple playing here, Shades of Deep Purple. Another recent pickup I got. This is a reissue of a 1968 hits compilation, early hits compilation of Deep Purple. I love this era of Deep Purple. The big hit on here is probably Hush. Also, they do a cover of Hey Joe on this record too. So just a kind of a cool album. I'll have that playing in the background a little bit. Turn it down just a tad though. Alright, my first record that I got to show today is, I have a few Byrds records, and I've seen a lot of Byrds records shown on the VC. I don't know that I've ever actually seen this record shown before. I didn't even know it existed. But I found this as I was digging around. I seen it and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's called Birds. It's called Pre-Flight. It's a 1969 release. It's a hits compilation. It's actually a compilation of demos that were recorded in 1964. I don't think that they had ever planned to release those songs, although there is a demo version of Mr. Tambourine Man that made it to this record. So yeah, there was a guy got wind that he's the manager of the rock music, West Coast rock music section of RCA Records. He got wind that these demos actually existed, and immediately wanted to see if he could get access to those and release them on record. And which he did. He found the tapes, and of course some of the members of the Byrds weren't too thrilled about having those released on record. David Crosby being one of those, and so he was a little bit of a hard sell. I guess if it wasn't for his friend Graham Nash persuading him that these tunes had historical significance, and that this is something that fans would want to hear as part of their catalog. I guess he kind of used the example of like your baby pictures. You don't want anybody to see your baby pictures when you're young, but when you're still not far from being a baby. But once you get older, you're kind of proud of those baby pictures, and it's not a big deal for people to see it. I guess that's the analogy he used to persuade David to go for the release of those tunes. So I'm kind of glad he did. This is really cool. This isn't the original cover. This is a 1973 reissue. The original cover had all the cutouts of all the members of the Byrds in a black and white picture of a bird's nest. So yeah, I mean, I dig this cover mostly because it looks kind of comic-ish, like Logan's Run or some kind of a sci-fi kind of a deal. Flash Gordon or something like that. Looks like even somebody was coloring it with like colored pencils, kind of psychedelic kind of. Of course, they got the Y. They made the Y like they did with the misspelling in the word the Byrds for their group name too. But yeah, this is kind of a cool record. I was glad to find this. Like I said, never seen that before, and so I was really stoked to get it. Alright, next up on the docket is Kiss, Hotter Than Hell. I never did have this record when I was younger. I had quite a few Kiss records. I think I mentioned in the first video, my parents absolutely would never let us have Kiss records in the house, let alone the one that has Hotter Than Hell. So yeah, I'm glad this is the first time I've actually owned this record. I never really did understand I was always baffled by the cover of this. I mean, what's going on here with Paul's hand and Peter's rear end there, and what's going on the back here with the little mini pictures of the band there with various I think females. And anyway, I heard that the photo shoot for this album was just a big drunken party. I guess Paul was so drunk they had to take him out and put him in a car just to kind of get him away from everybody, because I guess he was making a complete fool of himself. It's hard to imagine that Gene. I guess Gene, he claims never to have drank himself drunk before, so it's hard to imagine him being okay with any of that. If you've seen anything about Gene Simmons. thing about Gene Simmons, though, you know, he might not use drugs and he might not have addictions to alcohol and stuff, but he's addicted to power and greed, and who knows, those might be even more dangerous than drugs or alcohol. But yeah, don't let him fool you. Anyway, this is their second studio album. I don't think it wasn't a real big commercial success. In fact, the production on this, a lot of people don't like this record. They think it's probably the worst produced record that Kiss came out with. I happen to like it. I know it's kind of the production is murky and a little bit drudgy, but I like this record. I feel like it's almost their most like metal record from the early days. So I guess I'm trying to think of the guy's name. One of the producers, his name was Richie Wise. He takes responsibility for the reason that this turned out to be such a poorly produced record. They had moved from New York to LA to record this record, and right from the beginning things didn't go well for the band. I guess the first or second day there, Paul's guitar got stolen, and I mean they were a long ways from home. And I guess this Richie Wise, one of the producers on this record, he just says his heart and his soul weren't into the production of it. He was just, he was homesick, and the whole vibe around the record was just kind of, it wasn't a great vibe, I guess. So, but you know what? I dig it, man. I dig all the the Japanese stuff. It's just really cool, and the kind of the kabuki mask, and yeah, this is one of my favorite Kiss records. So, let's see. I guess while we got Kiss going, I might as well go for the double platinum I found too. Another record that I never had when I was a kid is Kiss Double Platinum. This is their first. This is the original Greatest Hits LP. It's a double record. It's has various remixes of a lot of their original songs. The biggest example of that would be Strutter 78. It's actually, instead of being listed as Strutter, it's Strutter 78. I guess they infused a bit of a disco beat. I don't know what it is about Kiss and wanting to have anything to do with disco at the time of this, but yeah. So, and some of the songs on this, like Detroit Rock City and Hard Luck Woman, there was some parts that were actually completely removed from the original recording. So yeah, they made some changes when they put this comp together. I really dig this though. Of course, the foil reflective cover, and then on the inside, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the embossed inner with the band members, and then the song listing under each of the band's faces there. But yeah, this is just a great compliment. I'd say this is probably one of their most complete comps that they had of original material, with the exception of the Strutter 78 that they changed quite a bit. But as a standalone Greatest Hits, this is probably their most complete, well, barring any of the new box sets, of course. But yeah, this is it's a cool record. So I'm happy to have that. Let's see. What's next here? Oh man, I was stoked to find this. This is Herbie Hancock, Headhunterz. Haven't been into like jazz a whole lot yet. It's definitely a genre of music that I'd really like to explore. Of course, a lot of people know from my era know Herbie Hancock mostly from the song Rocket, where he had the the huge hit video on MTV with the robotics and stuff. But he was way more accomplished prior to that release. But this is his 12th studio release. I believe this was 1973. And this was a key release for Herbie Hancock, as around that time he'd been doing a lot more experimentation with his music, and it was more spacey, more ethereal, like a jazz funk or even a jazz fusion, I guess. Here, let me flip that around so you can see it. I love this album cover. It's like so colorful, so psychedelic, and there's some ring wear there, but this it's in it's in decent enough shape. The vinyl is pristine. I'm stoked about the way the vinyl looks, and the way it plays. I'm really happy with this. I will probably buy some more of Herbie Hancock's catalog for sure. I'll be looking that up. This record actually resides in the National Recording Registry in the Library of Congress as well. I read that also when I was kind of doing some research on the record itself. There's an actual song on there too, I forgot to tell you. It's called, oh shoot. It is called Watermelon Man. And there's actually a guy that plays the beer bottle at the beginning, in the intro there. A guy plays lead beer bottle. I could probably do that. That'd probably be my instrument that I'd be playing if I was in a band these days. Alright, next, I was super hyped when I seen this record. I've never actually seen this record out in the wild, but I seen somebody showed it on the VC. I don't even remember who exactly it was. I think maybe it might have been on Dots and Loops, or I can't remember. But this is Lord Sutch and his Heavy Friends. This that's such a cool cover with the Union Jack car, and the dude all dressed like he's all dandied up, and yeah, very cool. This is his debut record of Screaming Lord Sutch. It was released in, I believe, 1970. His heavy friends on this are definitely some heavy hitters. Jimmy Page and John Bonham from Led Zeppelin are on this record. Jeff Beck is on this record. Noel Redding plays bass on this record. Nicky Hopkins, he's a session keyboardist from back then. He's on this record. Lots of heavies. Actually, this is a good way to put it. There's definitely some heavy friends. When Lord Sutch decided to release this record, some of the friends weren't so stoked about having it released. In fact, they were under the impression that that this was like an informal jam session that was being just a recording of some demos, and didn't really realize that Sutch was going to release this as a full-fledged studio album. I can imagine the call. He's like, "Hey Jimmy, yeah man, come on down and bring John. We're just gonna jam and have a few lagers, and it should be a great time, man. Call Jeff and Noah, and it'll be amazing." That was my horrible impression of a British accent. I'm so sorry. No offense to our British friends in the VC. I apologize. But anyway, yeah, they were not too keen on having this released, and so Lord Sutch lost a lot of credibility with his heavy friends. So the album was not a commercial success. In fact, in 1998, the BBC listed as one of the worst albums of all time. I think that's a little harsh. I really actually like this record. I think it's got, it's definitely got some good like stripped down rock and roll. I like Sutch's vocals. I like the playing is awesome. It's just a great rock record. I hear like some Kinks influence in there. Of course, it's definitely of its time. Just a great. I'm way into this record. I wouldn't call. In fact, I wouldn't call it a failure at all. I'm sure during it in its time it might not have been that great, but I'm really happy to have that record. And I really like the label too. It's on the Cotillion label. I'll show that real quick. It's just kind of a cool label there. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this album actually. And I'm getting to the end here. Cheers, real quick here. Oh yeah, it's cold and it's good. This is a record that I seen shown just recently by another newcomer to the VC. Oh God, I know I'm gonna screw this up. The Irving Park. Oh God, the guy's name is Jeff. I knew I was gonna screw up the title of his channel, but it's Irving Park something, and he's from Chicago. Like I said, his name is Jeff. He's got a great channel. He has like 3 videos, and man, he has shown some great records. I definitely had some vinyl envy when I watched his videos. So a big shout out to that guy too, as another newcomer like myself. Yeah, I can only hope to have a collection like he's got. So yeah. Before I get on with this record, I'd like to give another couple other shout outs to the Groovy Lisa. She's another gal in the VC, along with the Murphy gal, and it's so great and the Omaha Introvert too. I think it's awesome that those gals are collecting vinyl and they're right in there, and they've got some great records and great taste in music. And there's another gal, Jessie Jean, too, who I came across, and you have to check out her channel as well. And I hope she makes some more videos too. So, but a big shout out to the female part of the our VC population. It's good to have them. This is Pretty's For You. What I was talking about is I seen Jeff show this the other night. He had been rocking this album. This is Alice Cooper's debut record. It is definitely, I'll give you a close-up of it. And there's the back there, and the band, what they looked like back in the 60s there, 1969. Yeah, this is definitely definitely psychedelic, definitely out there. It's got a little bit of everything. It's psychedelic. It's got, dare I say, some Beatlesque harmonies in there. Some of it's some of it's Zappa-esque, which makes sense because supposedly Frank Zappa did produce this record. The way the story goes is Frank was there for about 5 minutes. He left the studio in charge of his brother. They came back later in the day, proclaimed that the record was done, and all they had recorded was the rehearsals where they were just rehearsing the songs, and one live track of Levity Ball, which happens to be my favorite track on this record. So yeah, I mean, for an album that sounds like it was basically just kind of thrown together, and it's actually not too bad. I I dig it. I mean, I'm into kind of the stranger avant-garde stuff and psychedelic stuff. There's the gatefold. Got the members there. It's definitely, if you're an Alice Cooper fan and you haven't listened to this or you haven't had this record, it's definitely, don't be go into it thinking it's anything like the rest of his catalog, because it's definitely not. I mean, there's hints in there of what's to come, but yeah, it's definitely not like the rest of his records. Just some strange lyrics, lots of crazy time and syncopated rhythms and timing changes, and it's a crazy record. So yeah, I think we all know what's going on there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to tear that off though. I've seen some records where people have torn it off and it's torn the cover. And something about this record, this album cover though, it was this is a painting. It was a picture that was actually in Frank Zappa's living room, and his wife was later to report that picture came up missing. I wonder who had it. Maybe Alice or one of his guys. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, kind of another little trivia there about the cover art. And now my final record here. This, I was so excited to find this record. Gotta take a little drinky here. Oh, so good. Oh, I was so stoked. I've been wanting this record for so long. I've been actively looking for it. I mean, sure, I could have went online and got it off of eBay or probably off of Discogs, or but I really wanted to find it in the wild, and I actually had a chance to pick it up. I was in a little record store in Vegas a few months back. This place was so cool. It was just a little brick building in the middle of a parking lot, and I stayed in there for like probably 3 hours just digging around, and I came across this and I passed it up, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But this album is the Atomic Rooster's "Death Walks Behind You." This record is the first time I heard this record. I just thought it was so cool. It's hard rock, heavy prog, proto metal. It's just a really great heavy record. If you can see the guys in the back there, those guys are some heavy dudes. The members of this band were members of the Crazy World of Arthur Brown. The guy with the fire, that guy. Yeah, this is a great record. The reason why I passed this record up the first time was because I really wanted the original cover, which is a picture of this like dude climbing on. He's on all this naked cave dude crawling on all fours with the long hair, and it just looks more like an album called "Death Walks Behind You." The name of that painting is called Nebuchadnezzar. And I mean, this is kind of cool too. It's definitely an atomic rooster. It looks like it's a rooster. It looks like it's atomic. But yeah, the other album cover was so cool. But I told myself when I seen this yesterday that I was not going to pass it up this time. So yeah, I got this for a good price. It's got a little ring wear, like some of the other records. But the guy, the hippie stoner dude that had this before me, loved his records, and now I'm gonna love them, man. I got a good new home, and so I'm stoked about this record. It was probably their most commercially successful record. Had the hit on there called "Tomorrow Night," and Atomic Rooster. I'll still be looking for that other cover, because I'll probably, knowing me, I'll still want that record as well. So, well, that's all I got to show you. I hope that this was a kind of a cool video. I hope you guys enjoy what I showed, and I hope that you'll stick around for a while. I got lots of records to show, and like I said, I'm always buying records, so I'll always have a continuing rotation to roll through, and I'm just loving making videos, and I really want to be part of this deal. So, and I'll be subbing and watching all your videos. I've noticed that there's been a lot of people on. I think it had to do with that 2018 vinyl tag that went around. A lot of new people joining the VC, and it's cool. I mean, I've been watching VC videos for 2 years, and I always kind of felt like I was part of it, but not really. And so yeah, it's good to see a lot of people coming forward, coming out of the shadows to join the VC. So yeah, I'm stoked. All right, that's it. VC, one more toast, and I'm out of here. Peace out, and thanks for watching.